So just put it from the point of view of any sort of person in the middle of the income distribution in Britain who doesn't live in London, right? So things are okay in the sense that you're levering the hell out of yourself. You're borrowing endlessly, whether it's through housing, whether it's through credit cards. Your wages are not growing in real terms, right? But everybody says it's the best of times. Now you notice the property prices are on a tear, but you don't own one of those houses. You notice that some people are getting really, really, really stinkingly rich. In fact, the British government says at that time we have completely agnostic about people making gobs of money in the financial sector so long as they pay their taxes. And then you can redistribute back down. That was New Labour's business model. But the problem is the financial sector lives on leverage, which is basically your borrowings. There's something that people don't think about very much, and I'll take a minute to try and explain this one, is that what banks call assets are actually liabilities. Because think about it this way, I own a condo in Boston. So that's great, that's my asset. To the bank, that's a liability. They don't want a condo in Boston. They're not landlords. They're interested in the mortgage, which is the income stream coming from it, which is their asset, which is my liability. So assets and liabilities match go to zero, right? That's basically the story. So if you run a system that's basically heavily financialized, with people constantly borrowing, the banks are building up huge amounts of assets. But those assets are actually liabilities. So when you take Iceland, for example, before the crisis, and you have 1,000% of GDP as bank assets, well, that is 10 times the size of the economy. In IOUs, you might get paid back. So this is an accident waiting to happen. When the accident happens in 2008, the redistributionary model of New Labour blows up. Any philosophy that they have as to how you can live with sort of tearaway neoliberal globalized capitalism and massive inequality collapses with it. Their ability to understand why people in the middle of the income distribution in the middle of England are like, this system blows. Because for them it hasn't. This system has totally worked for the top 10% and above. But don't be surprised that everyone else says, well, it hasn't worked for me, mate. They may not understand the intricacies of the EU, but if you say to people, here's a straight shot, what do you think of the world as it is just now? What do you think things are going well? The entire elite lines up and says, you need to do this. It's super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on a minute. Why do you guys all want it? Because you're the ones who've been making out with it anyway.